Hey, what's up guys? So we are here today checking out Domain, the trading card game. This game has received a bunch of newer updates and we're going to go ahead and revisit it and kind of check out the ins and outs. Now if you guys aren't familiar with the Domain trading card game, we're going to go ahead and briefly hop into a short little tutorial and kind of explain how the game works, and then we're going to go ahead and hop into an actual game. But let's go ahead and get started. So first off, here is the board over here. So the goal in Domain is to take out the opponent's king, and then each player will start off with a deck of either 20 to 40 cards, and the goal is again just to eliminate the king. So in the very beginning here, we're going to go and show off the mechanics in terms of the movement here. So we have a card over here called the Taurus Dragon. This is basic movements over here. Now if you've played the Yu-Gi-Oh game Duelist of the Roses, you'll feel kind of more at home, as there is a system where we're going to actually be able to move your cards in different zones. There will be benefits of putting your cards in certain zones as well, which we'll get into later. But basically what we can do with our card over here, you can see wherever I place it on the board. Now we can't move everywhere with this card, it's just showing you the basic movement of where the card can go with the highlighted areas over here. So we're going to go ahead and just place the card down over here. So we've moved the card. Now next up, in order to summon our monsters over here, you'll see the card over here. There's also a cost tied to it. Now the skeleton over here will cost 0, but that will be tied to our mana that we'll be able to generate. So this card over here, in order to summon a monster over here, we're going to actually have to place it next to our king. So anywhere along these different tiles that are, again, right next to the Taurus Dragon, and place it wherever over here. So we're going to go ahead and now show off the mechanic of attacking. So now we see the monster over here, the Inferno, as well as our little skeleton warrior that we had summoned. So you'll see over on the card's text we have 6 attack, and we're going to go ahead and attack into this card. You'll see kind of how it kind of interacts. So we'll go ahead and attack, and you'll see the monster took some damage. Now if we attack and we destroy the monster, since we move a monster to that area to attack, it will actually take that zone. So let me go and give you guys an example of that. So if Taurus Dragon now with its 24 attack attacks into Inferno over here, it will replace that zone because it's now occupying it. If you guys have played chess, it's kind of like that in that type of mechanic. Next up, we're going to go ahead and go over some abilities of some of the cards. So this card over here, Man-Eater, has the ability to shoot. So if the card has an active over here, you'll be able to actually click on the card's effect over on the left side, and then you can select your target. So this one allows us to go ahead and utilize shoot. So it just goes ahead and does some damage to the monster, depending on what the effects are. There's more effects than just shoot, but this is just a basic one over here to go ahead and go over it. Now some effects are on trigger, so this would be on a event happening. So for example, over here it says the Soul Collector card will give us 15 mana when another card dies. Attack the skeleton with your dragon over here. So we'll go ahead and eliminate this card over here, and you will see that the Soul Collector will then go ahead and have its effect activated, granting us that extra mana. So now that we have this extra mana, we're going to be able to summon our Spirit Warrior, which costs a cost of 11. Again, it's on the cards on the bottom left of the little corner of the card in the on the right side, but on the actual card, which you're seeing on the left side, it's in the bottom right. So we're going to go ahead and now be able to summon the card wherever we want to go ahead and place it. So there's also terrains, which I mentioned before. This is a mechanic that I really do think is quite cool. So it says that terrains impact battle stats and card health. Attack the Inferno with your skeleton. So if you guys remember before, the skeleton still only has 6 attack. But if we go ahead and attack him over on the swamp, which the skeleton is going to be benefiting for, the bonus of 5 extra damage because of the wasteland terrain. So terrains boost attack up for 5 for a card with the right bonuses, except for Oasis and Crystal. So that one's going to be a little bit different. Oasis gives +1 HP back per turn, and Crystal gives +5 defense against each incoming attack. So basically what you want to try to do for some decks is try to utilize a terrain to your advantage. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't need to play passively, you can play a little bit more aggressive, but if you want to sit on the defensive side, maybe you go ahead and summon a bunch of your monsters on those very specific tiles. But remember, your opponent, if they take that card out, they're going to now occupy that zone and maybe get that bonus. So keep that in mind, as well as there's a lot of mechanics over here with this game. Now this one is a continuous effect which is going to be granting plus mana. So you see our mana over here is 4, but if we go ahead and hit our end turn, in the top over here it says that the garden will give us 5 mana each turn it change. So we'll go ahead and end turn, but now we have 9 because we already generate the additional mana. So there are effects that are going to be continuous, there's going to be active, there is a lot more depth to this game in terms of other gameplay mechanics. But now that you guys seen a brief little introduction, let's go ahead and hop right into a duel. And also, thank you so much for Domains for sponsoring today's video, and let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright guys, let's go ahead and hop right into some gameplay. So the deck that I'm going to be using is going to be kind of focusing in on Scorched, which is the little fire lava things that you see as the tiles, as we get bonuses from that. You don't have to pick a deck that only suits one type of tile. In fact, I think it maybe be in your advantage to go ahead and utilize different ones. But I'm heavily relying off of the fire zones. I'm just going to call them fire for the sake of ease, but it is called Scorched. So I'm going to focus in on trying to go for face, as in like my deck is geared towards doing a lot of damage as quickly as possible. If the opponent does summon monsters next to me, you'll see I'm basically sitting on these little crystals, and what I want to try to do is make it so my opponent won't actually try to combat me sitting on those, as they will do less damage if we stay on the crystal zone that I'm at in the very bottom. You see that I will eventually move, and you'll see the strategy that I have with the gameplay here. So I'm going to go ahead and now summon an Icarus, because this one has a side jump. And again, I'm just trying to stay on these crystals to prevent my opponent from being able to attack. And you can see I cannot move just straight with this card. There's a lot of different movement mechanics over here in this card game. You guys watching a post commentary, so I can explain everything over here. And you'll see when it is the enemy's turn that there's a timer. They have enough time to get their moves down, but I do like that, because if any of you guys are playing Dueling Book, sometimes the opponent just literally never makes a move, right? But at least with this, you can't really like BM. Well, technically, it eventually will time them out with the time left over here, but in this tower mode, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But you'll see that I'm trying to position myself so I can actually take him out, as he has 2 soul collectors, and these things in the top right are going to be slowly gaining mana every time a unit dies. But the way I try to orient my deck and my playstyle here is I'm just trying to eliminate the king, because that's how you win in the game. Obviously, getting rid of the other pieces is fine. The soul collectors aren't a threat in terms of like damage, but they are a threat in terms of being able to start generating the opponent mana, and therefore being able to summon more powerful cards, as we will eventually summon a card that will have a lot of a mana cost. You'll see we'll throw up that Ephemeral Garden next to my Cosmos Dragon, which is our main unit, aka our king. But what I'm trying to do is slowly build up some extra mana so I can summon another powerful monster here. So again, I'm trying to utilize that Scorch. So now with the Sunset Samurai, the bonus is on Scorch, so I'm just going to go ahead and go face again. Again, with the mobility of Dual Zigzag with the Cosmos Dragon, we're able to position ourselves kind of all over the board. And you know how in chess the knights, they're kind of more difficult to see the moves because they're not as straightforward. That's kind of how I feel Dual Zigzag is in this game. If you guys have been playing chess before, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they're not as easy to see those certain like moves basically to counter. But again, just utilizing that Scorch, that Sunset Samurai, gonna go ahead and go face again. And then we're going to go ahead and pass our turn. So you can see we really haven't taken too much damage. We're still at 59 HP. The opponent here is still also playing the Cosmos Dragon, which I think is a very powerful card. Again, being able to have Dual Zigzag is a very, very strong thing to go ahead and have. So we're going to lose that on our Sunset Samurai. We're going to go ahead and take some damage over there because he does have the Shoot ability on one of his cards. But now in this position over here, you'll see that I'm able to go ahead and reposition. Remember, the Cosmos Dragon won't be able to attack. It has a shoot for basically the attack, but I need to be within a certain range because it's just got one range, so I cannot attack the other card. So I'm thinking, what do I want to go ahead and do for this play? As this duel does show off a few different mechanics over here, and I'm like, okay, well, I could just summon this and then just go attack, and then that's game anyways. I was really trying to position with the Scorch, but yeah, keep that in mind as well. So there it is, guys. Victory. Alright guys, so there you have it, some gameplay But I briefly want to go ahead and explain the choices in the deck, as there are tons of other choices. There's lots of other effects that might not have been shown in the gameplay. But obviously, in the very beginning, you have to try to pick your king. One thing that I can give you guys, if you guys are just starting out, don't pick a king with very low HP. The reason why I recommend not to do that is your opponent can just go up to you and hit you, and then that's game over. The fact that the game lets you do that, though, is cool, because there might be some obscure strategy that might be utilizing some weird mechanic that you might want to have a king with low HP. You can even attack your own targets in this game with cards like the Soul Collector over here. This is going to go ahead and actually gain that extra mana. So you can think of these as more obscure ways that normally wouldn't be seen in a traditional card game where you can't attack yourself, which I know it sounds wild, but there are times where you actually do want to go ahead and do that. There's a lot of other effects in the game. Heck, I actually started out building a deck all about this guy over here, which is Desire's Guardian. So one thing that I thought was really cool is it has this Ravenous, so it will consistently start consuming your mana each turn or it dies. So you might have to do something, because this monster has a lot of effects. It has attack, you can even control another opponent's card, you have the ability to also have shoot, and on top of that, you will also be able to go ahead and gain some mana. So there's a lot of cool mechanics to this card game that weren't shown off. So if you guys like what you saw and you want to see even more content, guys, go visit the website. It's completely free. You guys can go ahead and just visit it. You don't even need to download anything. It's just via the browser. But anyways, thanks for tuning, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you guys would like to let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below, because I'm curious to know what you guys think of it, as I do like checking out new and other innovative card games. And the thing that I really like with this is the zones and the positioning, which reminds me of like a Duelist, which you guys know I love that game as well. But anyways, thanks for tuning, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. And if you guys would like to go and check it out, it'll be in the pinned comment to go ahead and just visit the website and start playing. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. I'm signing out. Peace.